Hi, welcome to this Custodes Tactics video. The 9th edition codex is delayed until early 2022, and with Custodes performing so well as an 8th edition army, I'm going to talk you through some of the strategies and techniques that make them so strong. We then have something to compare against when I do the new codex review. Starting as a general overview, you've got a great base set of units. They are actually pretty highly points costed for an elite army. You don't get many models in your army. They're also CP heavy and they really rely on their strats. When you're building an army, you can generally achieve what you need to with just one detachment, and there's lots of good flexibility and list building possibilities. In general, the army has some great obsec durable units, which is perfect for a 9th edition game, and with clever things like heroic intervention shenanigans, where they can basically charge in the opponent's phase. You've got tons of good warlord traits, and let's not forget dreadnoughts, which are key. They're really durable and hard hitting for this faction. Let's first talk about some HQ choices. You can't really go wrong with shield captains on a Dawn Eagle jet bike, so much so you should probably just take 2. As I said, they're so strong, you should probably just take 2 for your HQ slots. And looking at the base stats, they're really powerful. Practically everything has a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 2+ anyway, but these can move 14 inches, auto advancing 6, 2+ armor save, and a 4+ invuln by default, 7 wounds, 5 attacks, and loads of weapon options. Out of the 2, you'll make 1 your warlord, give them superior creation, which is a 5+ feel no pain. Then they can take a relic, Auric Aquilus, which now takes them to a 3+ invuln, and they can also reroll felled charges. On the second one, you can also take a warlord trait by using 10,000 heroes 1 CP pre-game strat. There's a few good ones to consider for the second one: Radiant Mantle for -1 to hit, Emperor's Champion for reroll damage, Impregnable Mind, Deny the Witch with a +1 to roll, or Peerless Warrior 6s to hit, generate an extra hit. You can also give the second one a relic as well, with the Open the Vaults 1 CP pre-game strat. This one could have the Eagle's Eye relic, which takes the invuln down to 3+ also. 2 shield captains, both with a 3+ invuln, one with a 5+ feel no pain. You can buff them even further. On both bikers, you could use Victor of the Blood Games for 2 CP, which means each of them can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound, and 1 save each turn. It doesn't stop there, you can also use Captain Commander for 1 CP to give them an extra ability. Some good ones are Unstoppable Destroyer, which lets you pile and consolidate D3+3 in any direction, which is really powerful, lets you reposition onto objectives, charge, fight, fall back, to keep you out of range, and also pile into other units. The next option is Strategic Mastermind, which lets you get back your CP. For every CP you spend, you roll a D6, and on a 5+, you refund 1 CP. That's a lot of CP to spend up front, but it does make them absolute powerhouses. But also, you don't need to go as far as this is just the extreme. Another good HQ option is TRAJANN VALORIS, the iconic leader of Custodes. He's quite expensive, so he does have quite a big impact on your list. Undeniably tough with the 3+ invuln save, something you wouldn't normally find in the game, but you find it all the way through the Custodes. Fantastic melee, and anyone within 6 inches can reroll all hits and wounds of 1. And he also has a great moment shackle ability, which is once per battle, lets him do 1 of 3 things. He can either regain D3 wounds, he can fight again. Then just taking normal VERTUS PRAETORS, the bikers, are really strong. It makes sense to take 2 units of bikes that work together. They've got a great strat, Stooping Die for 3 CP, which lets you charge in your opponent's charge phase, and fight first. It's expensive, but great for counter-attacking, as each unit of bikers can protect each other. Bikes aren't the most indestructible tanks like they used to be. Really fast, 2+ weapon skill, ballistic skill, great weapon options, and you can buff them. Another all to include for most lists is the VEXILUS. Super important. He allows you to reroll your morale tests, and you pick one of his abilities at the start of the game, which is either +1 attacks, Imperium Infantry get 5+ invuln, or a -1 to hit. You want to keep this character alive throughout the game so you can dish out his buffs. And because of the lookout serve rules, it's quite risky just shielding him with the 3-man squad, just in case you lose one and suddenly he can be targeted. So one of the best bodyguards for VEXILUS is TELEMON. Advance up the board together, giving out his buffs to all the units. The TELEMON is not going to move with its 4+ invuln, 6+ feel no pain. It's shooty, it's punchy, and it's going to be the best bodyguard you can get. It's got some great strats like Eternal Penitent for 1 CP. It's a pre-game strat which gives it +1 attack and lets it reroll charge rolls. You can also use Wisdom of the Ancients for 1 CP. Reroll hits of 1 for a phase. Since it hits on 2s anyway, that's quite a big buff. An Ancient Artifice for 1 CP, where you can reduce incoming damage by 1 to a minimum 1 for a phase. Now looking at your best troops options. You got the Sagittarian, which have some great shooting output. You can advance and shoot both profiles of the gun and only receive a -1 to hit. That's really cool. And Custodian Guard with the Sentinel Blade and Storm Shield, really durable, and one of the base units you'll have. Other key units to consider: VALORIS Terminators, really strong, and one of the best tactics you can use with them is Unleashed Alliance for 2 CP, which lets you split up a unit into single model units. Anytime you have single model units, it's going to cause trouble. Just because of efficiencies of fire, they're going to have to over provision to make sure they kill a single model, making the overall squad stay around a lot longer. Some other really powerful strats I've just got to call out. Spark of Divinity for 1 CP, you can deny the witch within 12. Fraternity of Heroes for 1 CP, non-character units can heroically intervene. Indomitable Guardians for 1 CP, interrupting melee, and it's a cheaper version than the core strat, which is normally 2 CP. Tanglefoot Grenade for 1 CP, infantry can throw the grenade and slow down charging by D6. Now this doesn't affect fly, but really powerful. And the Emperor's Auspice for 2 CP. Attackers can't reroll any dice against the unit. The other big choice you have to make for your army is what shield company you're going to be. The two best ones are Dreadhost and Shadowkeepers. Dreadhost is a great delivery system and has top offensive capabilities. Its Warlord trait, All-Seeing Annihilator, is a 6-inch aura of 6s to hit in melee, is +1 additional hit. Now Custodes are already scary in melee. The Relic had Mon Immortis. It's a Castellan axe replacement with an extra CP and flat 3 damage. And the strat Golden Light of the Moriades for 1 or 2 CP. You apply to a unit that's just teleported in, or 3 units for 2 CP. When charging, you can roll an extra d6 and discard 1. As I mentioned, probably the second best one is Shadowkeepers. They've got a great strat and they're really good at targeting characters. The Warlord trait, Lock Warden, means when a character attacks the Warlord, it's -1 to hit. And when the Warlord attacks the character, it's -1 to its save, including the invuln. The Relic Stasis Oblite is a 3-inch aura where enemy characters have their attacks halved, and then attacks made against that character, you can reroll wound rolls of 1. The strat Grim Responsibilities for 1 CP. When a unit is selected as the target of an attack, for the phase, it's -1 strength to the weapons. The backbone of most lists will be your Alaris Terminators. You're probably going to have 2 units of 6 models. A VEXILUS, definitely, and also include don't need Terminator armor. Give it a Storm Shield, and probably the +1 to attack is best. Consider having double shield Captain on Dawn Eagle Jetbike and or Trajan. Every unit hits hard and saves well by default. There's lots of offensive and defensive strats which makes both of these better. And while your list won't have many models, each of them is really scary. I hope you found this useful. Please let me know in the comments anything you think I've missed. And I really can't wait for the new Custodes Codex, so keep an eye out for the channel for that. See you again soon. Bye.